Series 11, Episode 8, The Witchfinders. The Doctor and her friends, they end up in the mysterious town of Bilehurst Crag, or maybe the mysterious village, sorry. They end up in a place called Bilehurst Crag, where a woman called Becca Savage is trying pretty much everyone for being witches. The Doctor and her friends try and talk some sense to her before they are met by King James. Yeah. And it's kind of a race against time to convince all of them that there are no witches and to try and figure out what exactly is going on this land. A couple of things that I found about the episode kind of before going in. It was announced fairly early on that Alan Cumming was going to be in the series playing King James I. And my knowledge of, specifically from Horrible Histories, kind of went, oh, King James I. He was the one who hid down Surim before he was eventually caught by assassins. But then I had to remind myself, no way, that's King James I of Scotland. That King James I they're probably looking at was actually James VI of Scotland and is King James I of England. So I had to remind myself on that. But they did do a good job with King James. And I am glad to see Alan Cumming getting a role in Doctor Who. It's only a minor one. And I do think he did a good job as King James. Frankly, the only thing I really knew about King James is that he was the one that Guy Fawkes tried to blow up in 1605. So you came from around the early 17th century, and yeah, I feel like Alan Cumming did a good job as King James. You also got a good rest of the cast. For example, Siobhan Finneran as Becca Savage, the woman of the land. I feel she does a good job with a despicable character of Becca Savage. Yeah, I feel she does good. And then Tilly Steele as Willa Twiston, a woman a young girl whose grandmother is tried by Savage for being a witch. She does a good job. She does a good job making us see her side. We sympathise with her. She's gone through some terrible circumstances. But with the Doctor now being a woman, i.e. Jodie Whittaker, and with them doing an episode on the Witchfinders, I felt it was inevitable that the Doctor had to get ducked at some point. I mean, yeah, she is. Spoiler alert, but the Doctor is ducked at one point. She does manage to escape, but I feel, the Doctor as a male was odd enough as it is. But if you suddenly become a woman and then go to a place where they're doing witch hunts, frankly, the Doctor had to be tried as a witch. And, spoiler alert, as I said, but the Doctor does get ducked at one point. But she does manage to survive. But the ultimate... There is a little bit of history that marks in with the episode as a whole. I mean, as I said, witch trials around this time period were particularly common. And the fact that Savage managed to essentially cause all this problem on the land by chopping down a tree because it spoiled her view, that actually has a bit of historical context to it. I mean, it wouldn't happen until much later, but during the Georgian period, I remember one Georgian lord, he ended up demolishing an entire village because it spoiled his view. So, there is actually a little bit of historical context to the point of it. And the creatures of the Morax, I couldn't tell at first if they were Morags or Morax, but mud-based creatures that take on, infest the body of all the people that Becca Savage has put to death, and they are rather quite a sinister creature. I don't know if they're essentially frightening, but they're pretty sinister. And I also like the fact that towards the end, King James... Oh boy, I need to get my words straight before getting this out. But towards the end of the episode, the Doctor and her friends, and Willa, they all lead a pact to defeat the Morax and take back the land. And while it's referencing of kind of Jack's actions in Arachnids in the UK, I do like that King James is kind of the final one to banish the Morax and destroy them, but then the Doctor doesn't necessarily approve, just like, you had no right to do that. But once again, I don't know if this is the strongest episode, but I definitely rank it kind of high up there. I don't know if it's as strong as the other historical episodes, such as Rosa or Divas of the Punjab, but once again, I think it plays into an area that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor has done very well with, kind of, with the past few episodes, especially the historical ones, in which she is placed in a rather kind of bad set of circumstances, and ultimately she knows that to some point this actually happened. I mean, witch hunts around this time period were particularly common, and that, yeah, she does try and save people, but then she knows that ultimately history has to happen. And I also do kind of like the point towards the end that they say goodbye to King James, and then say, like, people often call witchcraft what they don't understand. Yeah, I'm about to prove him right. And just, disappears before. It's like, where did they go? I kind of like that. It's just the final comedy layout of it. Just, yeah. I mean, he's been kind of on and off, kind of unpleasant, eventually sort of pleasant throughout the episode. But then just that final moment just pushes him, like, what? I mean, it's funny. I mean, Alan Cumming is great as King James. The other cast do a great job as well. And I do feel it's a fun episode. Maybe not the best, but yeah, it's fun. Anyway, next week, It Takes You Away. We'll have to see what happens with that. Until then, see ya.